encouraging to see those queues around Centrelink offices right around the country. There has been some confusion as to who's eligible and the criteria they need to meet when it comes to the asset test and the spouse income test. What's your assessment of this package broadly in terms of has the government got it right at this point?
I think that there's many very good elements in the package. Mostly it appears right, but there are some gaps. What happened was when they announced it on Sunday, they didn't have students included in it, but on Monday night they included students. They also appear to be doing something for temporary visa holders. So, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are in Australia who can't leave Australia and who may lose their jobs, and under normal circumstances they wouldn't have any entitlement to social security. But as I said, they can't actually leave the country. So the government seems to be moving to make a special benefit, which is paid at the same rate as the new job seekers allowance available. So that's a good move. The two issues that seem to me to be problematic. One is it's not clear whether foreign students in Australia are covered. Now, generally speaking, we have hundreds of thousands of foreign students, and many of them supplement. Australia is a pretty expensive place to live relative to where many people come from. So they supplement their income via usually working in casual jobs. So there's potentially hundreds of thousands of foreign students. And again, they can't leave the country. We want their money, so to speak, for education, and they've already paid it in many respects. So I think that's one group that it's unclear what the government is doing about students, but I think that needs to be clarified. There's a related group, which is people who are in Australia and they're not yet citizens, but they're in the process of applying to become citizens. I think that, again, it's not entirely clear to me that they're covered. The other issue is, as you mentioned, is what's called the benefit cliff. Now, with the new job seekers allowance, which is essentially exactly the same as New Start was until last Friday, a couple, lost entitlement to that they have a separate test for each partner, so as to encourage both people to be working. And currently, when you reach when only one person's working and reaches an income of around $48,000, that's when the other partner becomes ineligible for payment. Now, what they have done is they've temporarily effectively doubled the rate of job seekers allowance for single people and a bit more for couples. So what happens is that, but it's a sort of a supplement. So one person in the household has to be receiving some bit of the job seekers allowance for the other person for her or him to receive this supplement. Now, under the current situation, if that other partner has, as I said, about 48,000, they're completely ineligible, so they don't receive anything at all. So a partner who loses his or her job could have a big impact on their family finances, depending on their other commitments such as a mortgage or rent, things like that.
Absolutely.
Now, yeah.
How does Australia's situation and our boost to the welfare system compare with what other similar countries have done overseas? I think this is a rapidly moving landscape, to say the least. In a lot of other countries, our social security system differs in important ways from other countries. So it's very similar to New Zealand's, almost identical to New Zealand's, and bits of the Irish and the British social security system are like ours. But most countries in Europe have contributory systems. So, individuals and their employers pay contributions into government funds, and the amount of money you get back when you become unemployed, for example, is a percentage of your past earnings. So for example, what France has, which has made a big change, is it has sort of allowed some employers to reduce the hours of work of their employees, and there's quite a substantial subsidy, about 75% from the state for part of those costs. So what they've done is they've used their existing social security system to provide a special form of support that existed before. But of course, we don't have that system. We don't have the employers paying social security contributions to the government. So we've had to use what we've got. It's sort of like what tools you have in the toolbox, and what we have has many good elements. It's probably much more rapid at responding to people's needs than many other countries, because sort of the first lump sums, for example, are going to. Yeah, they announced them about 3 weeks ago, and they're going to. They announced them about 2 weeks ago, and they'll be starting to be paid at the beginning of April. So, getting those payments out rapidly is something we can do, but we don't have this link to employers that other countries do. So, other countries tending to sort of provide support to employers to keep those people employed. What we're doing is, for 6 months, as I said, we're essentially doubling the rates of payment. We're making it administratively much easier for people to get on the system. There's a normal 1 week waiting period, and if you've got fairly modest assets, normally you may have to wait up to 13 weeks to get payments. Those have been suspended, so people can get their payments virtually straight away. And it also, in fact, the normal assets test has also been suspended. So we've done a lot of things to try and get payments to people as rapidly as possible. And
it is scalable, isn't it, Peter, which is important. Which is important to note as well. Peter Whiteford, I do appreciate you explaining all of that to us, because I know it is an issue that has been confusing a lot of people at home who are now finding themselves in this position, many of them for the first time needing to get government benefits. So I appreciate you explaining all that to us.